Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video I will be talking about Torghast in 9.1 on the PTR right now. And the title is a bit clickbaity, but I do have positive things to say about Torghast. I'm going to go through everything I experienced. I'm going to talk about some claims that other people made, some other videos that I had watched before I went and did it. So I had my expectations honestly pretty low because of these other videos. But yeah, it was actually a pretty good experience overall. So I'll just kind of take you through it and let you know what I think. I'm going to try to give a nuanced view on it, despite the clickbait title. A bit more of a nuanced view is kind of what you'll get with my channel, frankly. So, so let's go ahead and start. So to start off, you have to do layer 8, which is something that we already do on live servers. And now it has affixes on it. Torments they're called. And you have to do that to unlock layer 9. You have to get 4 or 5 gems or something like that. Gems are like stars, so like a 4-star rating, 5-star rating, to get the level 9 unlocked. And then again, to keep unlocking them, you have to do that. And then eventually you can unlock upper levels as well, which I'll get into a little bit more. That's not in the game yet, so I couldn't even test that out if I wanted to. But yeah, so at least I don't think there's. I technically didn't get 5 gems, but I also didn't have enough points to unlock it. So even if it is in the game, I didn't have enough points to unlock it. So yeah, so you go in now. The last boss is actually on layer 5. So you go into just like normal. Let's say you're going into number 8. You go in number 8. You do a full run, and you get 4 gems. Let's say that's what I got. And then so that unlocks layer 9. But now it's only 5 levels. So at the 3rd level, you still talk to a vendor, can upgrade your stuff. Then you have layer 4, and then you immediately go to the final boss level. So if you're only doing it for Soul Ash, which eventually you'll be doing it for Soul Cinders, so that won't be the case. But Soul Ash, you only have to go to layer 5. Well, the Soul Cinders too. You were looting on layer 5 too. So at the very least, you've cut off 2 levels for your grind, I guess, per week. So instead of 12, it's only 10 layers. And so that could be a good thing for you if you don't like Torghast. So that might be a positive thing for you already. So let's kind of go through some of the things, because you might have already seen videos on this. Let's go through some of the things that I heard other people say. So I saw mixed reactions on the torments or the affixes. I like them personally. As long as they're going to rotate at some point. I don't want to go in and always have the same affixes every single time, right? But as long as they're going to rotate, I actually kind of like it. It makes it a little bit more interesting, especially when you're over geared, to have to actually do like extra mechanics, just like in a Mythic Plus. You go into a Mythic 0 dungeon and you just blow through it. You can probably nearly solo it, right? If you're way over geared. And then you go into a Mythic Plus, all of a sudden there's more stuff you have to do, more stuff you have to worry about. You might want to pull 100 things and have them burst all over you with bursting, right? So there's big differences when you have affixes on. So that was pretty cool, just in general. Again, I saw things on both sides of that. People are like, oh, they're just annoying. I have something I really hate about that thing when they're like, oh, they're just annoying. They're just getting in the player's way. So all I keep hearing is that it's too easy mostly, right? So the torments make it harder. They really do. They make it more challenging. That would be the best way to put it. Not necessarily harder. They make it more challenging. Now, what each of the people said that I heard that said they didn't like the torments, they said, well, I don't want it to be easier. I just don't want it to be harder either. And it's like, you kind of have to pick one, right? Otherwise, then that means you do like the current version of it because it's in the exact place you want it to be. Because you don't want it easier, but you don't want it to be harder. You don't want it to be challenging. I just want it to be fun. I just want to blow through it with all these crazy powers. That's what Bellular said, frankly. I want to have all these crazy powers and just run through it like it's really easy and be dominant. And he did say the mobs can hit harder too, so maybe he dies faster, but he wants to just be completely overpowered. Okay, well, that's easier. You want it to be easier. That is what you want. So don't say you don't want it easier. This is more difficult. So if you do want it easier, it's not easier. It is more challenging. So if you want it more challenging, you'll be very happy with the torments, in my opinion, or at least somewhat happy with the torments. Other than that, like I said, I didn't get to experience layer 6 and 7 yet, but like I said, it was pretty darn fun overall. And then once you complete layer 9, you will get a quest in there to go turn into the rune carver and unlock your talents. And the talent thing is actually pretty cool. So I seen it on other people had videos up, and I seen what the talents were, but it didn't necessarily register because it's not a full breakdown. They don't have them all unlocked, so you don't know exactly what they do. I will say the one that's called like a cache, a secret cache or something like that. That one's actually quite cool, especially as you upgrade it. Because I have rank 1, but it showed me what rank 2 would be, and it's not like just better stuff of rank 1. It's actually completely new stuff as well. So the cache one's pretty cool. On the very first row, you're going to want to unlock the auto loot in Torghast, the auto loot the corpses, because that helps a lot in going faster, I guess. And I'll get into the speedrun stuff as well. But that helps a lot as far as your speed goes, even if you are someone who might want to go a little bit slower. Not having to stop and loot helps a lot. So that was definitely one of my favorite things. And a lot of the very first points that you unlock are really cheap, so you can get a lot of these talents all at once. So, I think I have 5 or 6 already unlocked with only 2 or 3 runs, done. Yeah, they are pretty expensive. You'll eventually have to run quite a bit of Torghast to unlock everything down the entire tree. And maybe they'll adjust it and make it slightly easier over time, because some of the things are expensive. But you can definitely dip into the things pretty early, so you get like that immediate power grab when you get to a new row on the talent tree. You'll get an immediate power bonus, and then you'll have to work a little bit to finish the bonus. So, but I kind of like that. That's kind of how I like things to be. So, of course, I'm gonna support that. The other thing I did want to talk about was the speed runs, actually, before I got into the talents, but I was very excited to talk about the talents. So the speed run thing. So now there is a bar on the streak bar under where your anima powers would be. So this bar basically makes you be empowered if you're over the streak bar. Basically wants you to kill things, and the way I kept seeing it phrased is fast, but I want to say fast. I would say they're encouraging you to do bigger pulls. Now, some people are going to be like, well, the freaking AoE cap. That is true for this, actually. I'm someone who doesn't really care that much about the AoE cap. I actually just would like if either everyone be AoE capped or no one be AoE capped, I guess, would be my take on that. But, so the AoE cap it's not great for that. But even just pulling a elite with 4 other mobs can be quite beneficial to you as far as keeping the streak bar active. Because one big thing everyone pointed out is while you're fighting an elite, your streak bar just falls and falls and falls and falls. And so I don't know if it actually coordinates with the streak bar, because I got to click on the details one time, but it went away really fast. At the end of your run, you can see the details of how your score is calculated. And so I didn't actually get to look at my details in detail, but so you can go fast. I don't know if you have to have the streak bar filled, like that gives you extra points when the more time it's filled. That could be a thing, or if it's just the time you take to actually complete it. But either way, that only accounts for about half your score, your speed. So it looked like, I think I got 4 stars or 4 gems when I only had 170 something score. So I don't know if it's like 175 is 4 gems. If 150 is 4 gems, I don't know what the floor of 4 gems is. I can assume that maybe 200 score is 5 gems then, because I got a high 180s or something like that, and I didn't, or I guess so. I guess it could be 190, and I did not get 5 gems. So I think to get 5 gems, then based on the current setting, you have to beat a certain time and complete everything or nearly everything. So I think that kind of is how they set up getting a 5 gemmer. So 5 gems is not easy to get right now. I would like that to be scaled around somebody who's, if you're over gear the thing, you should probably be able to get 5 gems in it as long as you're trying. So as long as you're not AFKing or whatever, you should probably be able to get 5 gems. So they might have to nerf it just slightly, like the time portion of it. But I personally didn't feel rushed. My very first run I did it just like I normally do my run for the weekly, right? For my weekly Soul Ash. I still got 4 gems. I complete everything. I'm a good completionist person. So I clicked every urn, did everything. I still got 4 gems. I am way over geared for a layer 8, of course. But I still got 4 gems just going. And then on layer 9, I did attempt to go a little bit faster. I ended up getting about the same score. But that kind of makes sense because, it is a difficulty higher. And I didn't have any of the talents unlocked yet. But layer 9, again, I'm still over geared for it. So it still felt a little bit weird because I was kind of trying to go fast. I can't say I was going the fastest I possibly could, but I was kind of trying to go fast, right? And still completed everything, and I got a similar score, And then, so then at layer 9, I unlocked the talents. And I think what a lot of people who made videos didn't do is they didn't go back in after unlocking the talents. So my layer 10 was actually my best run after these talents were unlocked. And I imagine layer 11 then will probably be kind of be similar to my layer 9, where it's kind of the same as my 10. But if I get more talents unlocked, then, you'll be able to do it pretty easily, in my opinion. The talents are extremely helpful. So again, I didn't feel rushed. Some people might feel rushed. I don't know. It's definitely so you're supposed to be able to do layer 8 with 200 item level. I don't see any easy way, unless you get really lucky with your anima powers, that you're gonna get 4 or 5 gems at 200 item level. Because I do Torghast on a couple characters with 200 item level. But I guess I didn't. I could just copy them over and see how feasible it is. 4 gems seem to be pretty forgiving though, because like I said, even going slow, I think a big portion of your score comes from just completing it. So even when I went kind of slow, not slow, but without any speed at all, I still did 4 gem it, and which is worth noting. And it was still like 170s or low 180s or something like that. So it wasn't too bad. But yeah, so overall, I think it's a really good step in the right direction. I don't actually think this saves Torghast or makes it the best thing in the world in the game. For me, it definitely makes it more enjoyable though. I think for me, it'll be more like Horrific Visions. So I really enjoyed Horrific Visions. A lot of people did. But I really enjoyed them. And for me, Horrific Visions didn't get boring until after I had all the talents unlocked, and it just became super easy. And then also I'm overgeared it by, I'm way overgeared by then as well. By the time you unlock all the talents, which will be the same in Torghast. At some point in Torghast, you're going to have all the talents unlocked, and if you're a Mythic Raider, or just a super high in PvP or super high in Torghaster, you're going to, or Torghaster, Mythic Pluser, sorry Mythic Plusers, if you're super high end, yes, you're going to be way over gearing it, plus have all these talents unlocked, and at that point, it might be boring again. And, I think that's something we just have to live with, because what really needs to happen is someone who is the equivalent of 200 item level now, so whatever like the floor is for the 9.1, those people have to be able to eventually do 5 gems when they unlock all the talents, right? So, whatever it is, so if it's probably gonna be 226 or 230 will kind of be like the floor of the next patch, and those people have to be able to, do it eventually, right? If they have the skill required, even at that item level, they have to be able to do it. And I think the talents will make up that gap. So if the talents are going to make up roughly 30 item levels, and then you are 30 item levels higher, you're by the time you have all the talents and all your gear, you're going to be like 30 item levels higher than the content you're doing. So yes, it'll eventually be too easy for the high end players, but I'm fine with that if it's allowing the regular players to complete it. That's me personally. I'm a little bit more selfless than the average WoW player, it seems like, at least the ones that I run into or group around with. But I'm happy with it as long as everybody's able to complete it, which I think they will be able to once they unlock the talents, which again are really, really cool, and pretty much a great job on the talents from what I can tell. So obviously I don't have them all unlocked, but I did look through all of them, and most people were pretty complimentary about the talents. I guess since I am refuting things other people said, some people are like, well, you made it harder than put talents in to make it easier. Well, yes, it's a progression thing, right? So yes, you made it harder. Instead of nerfing it, they did in 9.0, they made it, they put talents in, right? So those are the two options, right? When something, it becomes harder, so it was too hard, so it didn't become harder, it just released too hard. And so what they do is they nerfed it. They could have put the talents in then, right? If they had that ready to go. They could have just put the talents in then, and then people probably would have been like, oh, well, yeah, eventually I'll be strong enough to do this. But now they're like, oh, well, you nerfed it, now you're making it harder, and then the talents are going to make it easier. Well, yes, that's how things work. That is just how things work. How else would you like them to do it? Would you like them to make it easier and then put talents in and have it be super easy for the lowest geared player? A fresh 60 can clear everything because they have all the talents and it's easier? I mean, whatever. I don't have time for that nonsense, I guess. But yeah, overall, I give it a very good rating on increase. I think the auto loot alone increases the likability of it by like 15%. So with the talent tree, including the auto loot, of course, with the talent tree and the affixes, I would say it's at least 50% better. than what it was before. If I'm being just completely realistic about it, probably about 50% better than what it was before. So before, if you were giving it, and I guess not on a grade level. So if you were giving it like a 50% before, like let's say we're giving it a grade of a 50 out of 100, you're like F, F in the chat. 50 out of 100, so 50%, 25 plus 50, 75. So now you might give it a C, right? So if you really hated it before, you might tolerate it now. It might be passable now. If you thought it was like a B minus, an 80, then obviously that would go over 100. But generally, if you liked it, you're probably gonna really like it. And if you disliked it, you might give it a passing grade. And if you hated it completely, you're probably still gonna hate it, and that's just the way it is. So, as always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel because that helps me out so much. And that's it for this video. And everybody have a good one.